Karin Coulter. I am your host for the Heartbeat of the City, a West Queen West podcast. And I have the incomparable Rob Sysak with me. He's the executive director of the West Queen West BIA. Welcome, Rob. How are you?
It's quite spectacular. Thanks for asking. And if I wasn't using my phone for the podcast, I'd be looking on Google incomparable, which is it's a beautiful thing, right?
It's a good thing.
Okay, awesome. I'm doing great. You?
I'm really good. Happy to be chatting with you today. Tell us a little bit about the charms of the West Queen West neighborhood.
The first thing that I learned when I started almost 15 years ago here, it was the amount of work and the creativity that the people put in. We're 2 kilometers all the way from Bathurst to Gladstone on Queen. You know, Trinity Bellwoods Park, the Drake Hotel, Gladstone, Trinity Market, amazing chefs. But everyone works 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Like it's nonstop. But they're so incredibly creative. And what makes me happy is everyone is welcome. We have MH. We have the West Neighborhood House. We have all these other things. We have hipsters. We have people in cool T-shirts like the West Queen West one. We have rock stars. We have actors. Everyone's welcome here. We have amazing chefs and their partners. And yeah, it's a place where everyone's welcome. That's the real magic. And the whole world is here. The magic of, and I will have you in a moment. The magic of Toronto is that even though we're so large, we're still a city of neighborhoods. And I'm the first to visit Kensington, Danforth, you name it. But if you just come to West Queen West, because that's all the time you have, you'll be able to visit the world and have a taste. Every bit of Toronto is in this 2-kilometer stretch. And from food to fashion to arts to, we have a vet store. We have a bookstore. My goodness, like how many bookstores are around? We have the paper place. It just has only paper. Like, it's just incredible. You see, I don't stop once I start. So yes.
Well, you can feel your passion. It's incredible.
Thank you. Well, again, the members are. My degree was math, and when I did the walk, I've never seen that kind of passion and dedication to what they do. And they're not all millionaires. You know, people think because it's Queen, you're making for. Some of them, it's just because they really, really love what they're doing. It's their passion. It's their reason to be. It's amazing.
And actually, it's fun. It's interesting you say that because when you visit, you can. It's like in the air. That energy is in the air, and it's you can't help but feel it when you're there and understand why they're doing what they're doing. So it's just can't say enough good things about it.
Yes, I have to agree. Toronto Life just had their best neighborhoods to live in the city. Danforth, great place, came number 1. But West Queen West was just created this year because there was a BIA. So West Queen West literally, and I'm using the word correctly, finally for the first time in my life, literally put it on the map. Yeah, and it's the number 2 neighborhood, only 0.1 behind. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So basically a tie.
Exactly. Thank you.
There you go. You heard it here, folks. Okay, just quickly want to let everyone listening know that the podcast is sponsored by the West Queen West BIA, of which you are the fearless leader. Yeah. There's over 400 businesses working together to make West Queen West the most memorable neighborhood in Toronto. And like you said, one of the best in the world. It was voted the second coolest neighborhood in the world by Vogue magazine. Yeah. So that right there is saying something. It means you have to go. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Rob, please tell us the website that everyone can go to and all the social handles. Let us know where everything's happening.
So our website is at westqueenwest.ca. And yeah, for our Instagram, it's at West_Queen_West. And the same for Facebook. But again, if you just type in West Queen West, the most unique name around, West Queen West, and short form, WQW, you will get our X, like I keep saying Twitter because I'm one of those old folks. So our X, our Instagram, our Facebook, we even have, oh my goodness, the other one that's just video. And that's why we count on the younger folk like you to tell me. TikTok, thank you. We even have TikTok. And yeah, and that's starting to be popular. Again, the diversity here is just incredible. And you want to find out anything, go that. Get the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It'll tell you everything.
Oh, yes.
Like it's basically it's us in a newsletter. They're going to get all the amazing stories from us and the information, but that newsletter is kind of just like a little outline. So people should probably still get that.
They can do both.
Yeah. Exactly.
Rob, we have some incredible features coming up, and one of them is Hip City, and that's where we detail what's new, all the new businesses that are coming up in Queen West. So let us know what you know.
Oh, I will for sure. So relatively new businesses, the Swan. Le Swan is it's a French restaurant. The chef was from the Black Hoof chapter of their lives. They kind of moved on. They're in West Queen West. It's crazy. A little later today, we're going to be meeting a chef in an incredibly amazing place that you got to come for lunch, dinner every single day. We have Bar Prima. That's brand new. There are so many things. And the thing that's really inspired me, we have Cameron Alster vintage clothing. It's a men's clothing, but not just on the casual stuff, designer bags, all these kind of things. So again, the new shops are coming in, the new restaurants, but it's not just restaurants. It's bars that have entertainment. There's bars that play Turkish music and live bands every weekend. Mother's has the jazz going all the time. So music's back, entertainment's back. People got to come out. And again, the holiday season, I want to throw this out there now. Come December, Queen West has a gift card, but our $100 is going to be worth $125. But if you connect, and we'll come up with that special code later, folks, for this podcast, we're going to give you $150, the limited one. So we'll have, you listen to us here, you get that special code, you buy a $100 gift card, we're going to give you $150 to spend the participating members.
That's incredible. Perfect time of the year to do that too.
So it's going to be exciting. Lots of new things. And again, the weather. I prefer cold and snow. So just saying, watch out there. I'm not good aim, but I love throwing snowballs. So, but I'm giving you the heads up in advance.
I got you.
But it is warm. I'm saying it's still like spring, and it's just an amazing 2-kilometer walk. Again, from Cafe 23 coffee shops to type book. Yeah.
You know what, Rob, though? We're Canadians. We can do it. It's worth it.
Yes.
We got it. Rob, another one of the features we're going to be having on this amazing podcast is Best Queen Best. And that's where we're going to be able to interview and hear from some of the pillars of the neighborhood and some of the iconic places. So talk to me a bit about who those people are, who those businesses are.
Yes. So on the West End, where I'm going later today, and I'll even brag about that, I'm going to be going to meet the manager of the Gladstone House.
Oh,
it's
nice.
the longest running hotel in North America. Christine Zeider used to have it, but now it's some new owners, and it's gorgeous inside. It is, you speak about iconic. It's been there forever. You have to check it out. My words will not do justice to when you go in and you see the ceilings. The basement, they renovated the basement. If you've not been there since that, it's larger than the rest of the hotel. It's like you found a whole new world. And remember, all those things are so old. There's always little bits of ghosts and spooky things. Like you hear voices and stuff. Yeah. So it even adds that kind of fun. And then just not far from them, just a little further east, the Drake Hotel. They'd added, the 57 hotel rooms, a new bar on that side. These are the places where the Drake, the movie stars go during TIFF that we just had this summer. It's those are the kind of places that when I got the job, I went to the managers and said, hey, is there a number I can call if there's a lineup? You really made it when you can be with the crowd, make a call, and you get into Drake and the Gladstone House without having to wait.
Right?
Yeah. So, and I get my shoes sometimes from Ted. Ted passed away, but Ted's shoes, he was here 80 plus years. His business is still here. But he was an icon. The business is, and his partner is still there. Ted Shoes, Squirrelies, you name it, all these amazing places. And even some places that survived next to the West Neighborhood House, formerly St. Christopher House on the Bathurst end. It's a real difficult corner, most called police corner. Businesses rarely survive a year or two. Frisaka and the Mexican has been there for 5 years, the longest business ever to survive there. Like these are unique people who deserve our support. Uh,
Absolutely.
and and again, I'm half Ukrainian. My tato's Ukrainian. The Ukrainian church, which I can see outside the window, and we're in a beautiful food place, but they sell petahe, pierogies across the street sometimes. So yeah, I would
I'm
grab.
Ukrainian, Rob. I'm
Oh,
Ukrainian.
okay, these are good ones. The
I'm
dobre
coming for the
dobre,
pita. Yes,
yes,
I'm coming for it. Oh,
okay. With the
you're
bacon
talking my language now.
yeah. So we'll be going to meet them, a whole bunch of incredible people, creative people. Docs from Doc's Leathers, who's been there forever. One of the most unique characters you will ever meet is Doc. He's a short Jewish biker-looking gentleman. He said, and he's gay. He was the fifth marriage in Toronto, and he said that with respect to people, prejudice towards him, he says the bikers get mad at him because he's a Jew and he's gay. The gays get mad at him because he's a biker and he's a Jew. So it goes through that. And he's such a part of West Queen West. Works with everybody. He's out there to make sure. Again, when I said everyone's welcome here, especially during Pride, we have these Queer Street West signs, and we try to make people feel comfortable. This year, when I was handing out the signs, some people asked, they started to cry, and I'm not kidding, this couple, these two ladies, they said it was the first time that they were able to walk, that they never thought about anything. They were from the 905 area. 905 is great, not saying anything bad, but they walked West Queen West the day holding hands, and it never crossed their mind
Right.
not to. Those kind of things, yeah, obviously people have to be successful in sales, but those are things that we're really proud of. Another family said that their children, are transgender, but they were able to do a whole day's experience in West Queen West, and everything felt normal. The whole family had such an amazing day. We're incredibly proud of those things, and that's when we meet the people who do this Queen's Best. It's because of those folks that those other things happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's awesome. Okay, so the next feature we're going to be having is fun. It sounds fun. Hot Queen Time Machine. And I think a little bit to what you spoke about was we're going to profile some of the historical businesses that are in the West Queen West area. And you did speak to a couple of those already.
Yeah, it's yes, and then Fuse, Heel Boy, a whole bunch of
Oh,
like
yes.
which we don't talk off. I don't talk often enough. I believe there's even we have the a hotel across the street from the park. It's more of like a rooming house, but they've been there almost 60 years. Like they're part of West Queen West. There are so many unique stories that a lot of people won't really know that we're going to bring to them. Like
Absolutely.
little businesses that have been there for 20 years, 15 when things are tough, and they're there and they have such incredible stories and unique history. And I'm so
Absolutely.
looking forward to sharing all that with everybody. It's
For
one of
sure.
the things I guarantee it.
Yeah. I just want to quickly say, too, that you can hear all of Rob and you can subscribe and download through Spotify, iTunes, and on our newly launched West Queen West YouTube channel. We'll be there. Rob and I will be there. You got it. Another feature we're going to have is called the I Love Nightlife. I think that's a no-brainer for West Queen West, right? We'll be profiling different entertainment spots, calendars of events, just everything that's happening in the West Queen West area.
It's so. I guess prior to this year, it's been difficult in the east end of the West Queen West. Lots of great places, but most of the nightlife was Dovercourt down, Ossington, even though Ossington, West Queen West, Ossington to Dundas, Queen all the way to the Gladstone. Those places are packed. Bar Poet, all those things, the Great Hall. On the east end now, because of these new bars coming in, McKay's and some others with live music, the East End is becoming the spot to be because of Curtis Tavern. Like there's nightlife on this side that where I would leave my office, it's nice and head down to the crowd. There's crowds here now from the Dog's Bollocks to Trinity Market and everything. It's the prime nightlife in West Queen West. I will have to take some rest before we do those things because
Okay.
nighttime here is something else. Like
It's busy, I bet.
like nowhere else. Yeah.
Another segment we're going to be having, which I'm a little bit excited about, is Queen West Couture.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're going to go shopping, Rob, you and I. It's going to be fun. And we'll get to check out all the incredible, unique fashion choices that there are in Queen West. And like you said, everyone's welcome. So I can only imagine what's offered and what's available.
It's, again, you should visit every neighborhood in the city if you have a chance, but you don't really need to, because Queen West has everything in the couture fashion, in the food, in the retail. And if you have dogs, like, and I'm kind of breaking away from what we just did because I'm quite sad that I didn't mention it. We have the dog park right there. We have the largest vet hospital in the city. And of course, people treat their dogs like children. I have a cat, 20 years old. It's called Precious. So, I mean, I understand about dogs. I treat my Precious like a child. And yeah, so let's not tell everybody. But that's
you and me.
Yeah, exactly. But speaking of couture and fashion, there's incredible fashions for pets. I just had to throw that in there because it's, yeah, sometimes
The
I
pets
see
are
that
people
everywhere.
too, Rob. I get it.
Yes, exactly.
I get it.
I love you, Precious, if you're listening. Sorry.
Oh, okay. On that note, another segment we'll be featuring too is this month in Queen West. And that'll be an overview of all the events that are happening that month, all the promotions. And we'll feature all of that on our podcasts. Now,
Yes,
I can imagine that, like you said, you spoke earlier about the gift card.
Yes.
That's an incredible promotion that we want to talk about.
Yeah, it's one of the things. So as I've mentioned, been here many years, and we do everything from art on the walls to statues to planters to pole wraps. And members will say, you spent the money here. Some will love it. It's anecdotal. Did it bring people in? With respect to the gift card, it is such an amazing promotion, not just for consumers, because your $100, if you're watching our podcast, for a certain amount of it, it's worth $150.
Right.
You get $50. And the others, it's worth an extra $25. So your $100 in Queen West is worth $125 minimum. If you're smart and watch the podcast, I'll be worth $150, and you get to come and shop. There's no people like the Trinity Market anywhere else, but even if there was, the $100 there is only $100. Here, it's going to be worth $150.
It's a no-brainer, really.
Exactly. So yeah.
Now, Rob, will there be special programming during the holiday season?
Well, there always is.
Yeah.
A big part of our thing is we do piggyback off our incredible members because they have such awesome talent. So we will share in our newsletter and on the podcast things that are happening at all those locations. The Great Hall has a Christmas, celebration in there. They have the sales, the Santa comes. But Queen West every year has the real Santa come every Saturday in December from 1 to 4. We walk the streets. Santa goes into businesses. We have the carolers. And one of my biggest claims, or at least brings me to joy, was that Metro Morning and Ontario Morning invited myself and the other caroler. I got to sing in about 42 minutes, they said, to over 1 million people. We got to sing Christmas carols and with the real Santa and with that. And how cool is that? And every Saturday, come in December, you get a candy cane, get your photo, bring your pet because he loves pets. Pets love him. It's the real Santa. And this year, we're going to be starting from a new place. Before, all the kids would come to see if they could see Santa land with his reindeer and sleigh. But we're going to a secret place because it got so crowded. But it'll be every Saturday, 1 to 4 in December.
That's incredible. I might have to come. I really want to see the real one.
Oh, he's so incredible. He's so incredible.
Another segment that we're going to feature, which I'm excited about too, it's called The Beautiful People, The Beautiful People. That's a song. But also, we want to talk to the people who actually live and breathe Queen West.
Yeah. Yeah.
You must come in contact with them quite a bit.
Yeah. And part of my job, when I started, it's not the office. It's not a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's walking, meeting the members, which are spectacular. But as you walk the street and you learn early, to get a counselor on your side or an MP or an MPP, they sometimes invite you to events where with the local community.
Right.
So you really get to build those relationships and get to meet. So our members are incredible, but we're just part of a larger community that's incredible. Like, I mean, number 2 in the city, according to Toronto Life. Again, I think it's a tie, like we said. But those people are passionate.
Yeah.
The people who live in the neighborhood, who take care of the park, all these groups, we are going to see some incredible people who have been here, who have the Orders of Canada, who have all those kind of things, and have lived here. Agnes Hanna, she was a teacher at the elementary school here, and before she would go to class, and she's 85 now, but she would find out who her students were, learn a little bit of their language, and before school started, she would visit each student at dinner time, knock on the door, introduce herself, meet the parents, and come in with a little bit of a meal and try to say hello. And then that's awesome by itself, but the first day, she would bring the piano to the middle of the class. And she said, most didn't speak English, but everyone, there's certain music and songs that are universal.
Right.
And it just made the kids, feel safe, feel good. And she's been part of documentaries. When I walk with Miss Hannah, it lifts up my rep so much. And I normally don't care about that, but I am walking so tall and so straight and proud when I get to walk with her. And there are so many amazing people like her that are here.
That's incredible. And you know what? If the neighborhood and the people and the businesses' passions are anything like yours, which I'm sure they are, we have to visit as soon as we can, because it's just infectious. You're spinning around on me, Rob. What's going on?
I will.
You're so excited.
I love it. Yeah, because we have a guest that's anxious to be joining us. Yes, we do. But just before I get him, we should walk soon, because remember, if there's snow, there's snowballs.
Okay. I'm ready for you.
So if we are ready, I'm going to bring Chef Matt. And if he's ready, are you ready, sir?
I am.
So please join us, Chef.
Thank you.
And
welcome, Matt.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you? Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
This is Chef Matt Pettit from the Trinity Market. How are you? So great to have you.
I'm very well, thank you. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Well, I was chatting with Rob, so how could I not be great? Come on.
Thank you.
You know what? Honestly, there's not too many people in the world that have such a passion for obviously this area. Not just this area, but Toronto, its people, its culture, its food, its business, its energy, its vibe. It's interesting. You do see, whether you're from the neighborhood or not, Rob is a mainstay in the area, and it becomes infectious. His personality becomes infectious. Seeing people sort of walk the neighborhood and, shaking hands, and, Kensington had the King of Kensington. I know Rob might be the West Queen West. So there we
that's
go.
Awesome. Sorry to interrupt. So we have this recorded at my board meeting in January. As I mentioned, Chef Matt will be a board member. I'm going for a raise.
There you go. And that was an unsolicited. I'm going to be a new board member, so I'm coming in. That's right. That was unsolicited. No, and truthfully, I've known Rob of the neighborhood, but him and I are just developing our relationship. Now we are a new business. You mentioned this is Trinity Market.
Yes.
We're 8 months in the community here in West Queen West, and I've been in this neighborhood for quite some time, for a very long time actually, and I love it. So it feels like home.
Matt, tell us a little bit about your history and your experience with the Trinity Market.
Yeah. So I guess sort of Cole's notes. I'm originally from Midland, Ontario, but my parents are actually from downtown Toronto. So they spent most of their time. They're 2 old hippies that grew up, in the 60s and 70s, all downtown Toronto. My parents know every nook and cranny, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the amazing of West Queen West and all of Queen West. And all of the great neighborhoods that made Toronto such a great place to live and visit. So as a kid, I would come down here almost every weekend, because the majority of my family is in Toronto. And so we would make the weekend trip. And when you come from a small town like Midland to something like Toronto, in the early mid 80s and early 90s, it was something. It's
mind blowing.
It was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Mind blowing. And, we talk about sort of where my journey began. I think a lot of that became, you talk about, and I know Rob mentioned the 2-kilometer walk here between Queen West, and how important that is, and such a cool walk that it is. We used to do that. So my parents we would walk up and down Queen West. We'd make our way through Kensington Market. We'd head along Dundas. It was just, it was amazing. Down Spadina. And again, for a small boy, experiencing all the food, all the people, all the culture, I knew as I got older, it was where I wanted to be and where I wanted to live. And so that's the case. I've been in Toronto now after culinary school and university. I've been here now for 20 plus years. I've owned several different businesses. One being, if we're going back for a little resume, proud founder of a restaurant back in the day. First one was actually on Ossington, and then we did have one on Queen West, just on the other side, I should say, of Queen West, but it was Rock Lobster. So I started a really great food concept called Rock Lobster. We had 3 concepts all across Toronto. I don't know. Have you been there before?
Yes. Wow.
We made some magic there. And so we had that for about 8 years. That was all started with I bought a food truck in 2010. If anybody has seen the show Chef, the movie Chef, with Jon Favreau, that was sort of what it was. I just quit what I was doing, working for other people, put everything that I had in my bank account, and sort of made it work. And that amount was $3,500. And it, sometimes you can do a lot with a hope and a dream and passion. And, I've sort of been able to really parlay that with an amazing team, parlay that into cookbooks with Random House that both became North American bestsellers, and, thankful to do a lot of TV, whether it be with Food Network for many years, and now for the last sort of 6 years with Rogers Media hosting, and one of their in-house chefs at Rogers Cityline with Tracy Moore.
Yeah.
My girl. So, yeah, it's been fun. I can teach people about food. I can teach people about, connecting and sort of what it means to sort of get around the dinner table, or lunch table, or in our place at Trinity Market, the snack table, and have fun.
That's incredible. You're famous. I knew you looked familiar. That's incredible.
Karen, I'm going to just...
Rob's got a question he wants to toss in here.
Because I love... No, it's a good one. I love superhero stuff. Everyone has an origin story. So was it during that walk you said, I want to be a chef, or you had dreams, or what made you decide, or when did you decide, this is what I'm going to do, this is my passion?
Yeah, sort of that aha moment, I guess, sort of came to me. Maybe, what we used to do, it's interesting. So I have a couple that sort of tie into each other there. So my mom was, my mom's a great cook. Luckily, she's still with us. Both my parents are, God bless. And so, actually my mom's come to Trinity Market, hang and do the walk. She said she's coming on Thursday, and she literally says, I'm booking 2 days with you. Don't cut me out. We're having it's Mom and Maddie Day on Thursday.
It's your mom.
I always make time. She's the boss, but they're going to keep coming down to just literally do the walk, just the hang. She goes, I just want to hang with you. So you'll see us in the neighborhood. But sorry, to answer the question, I used to just get to hang with her and cook in the kitchen, and then we would do trips to see family out east. And sort of the question was, how did I get into food? And really, seafood was sort of the origin of seafood restaurants. When I was a kid, we'd go out east, and it was always a real treat. When you tell a 7-year-old that you can eat something with its hands, with your hands, whether it be lobster or crab or shrimp, that was it. And here's another funny one too. An homage, again, part of the whole downtown, Queen West area. Of course, everybody remembers the Bamboo Club.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah. So, and I do too. When I was a little kid, my parents loved the Bamboo Club for Sunday and Saturday, afternoon reggae and jazz and all different music. Well, that was the first ever place I ever had shrimp in my life.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's in my head. I can still remember the room. And my parents would take us almost every week or every second week in the city. And I would eat shrimp, and I loved it. And I was like, this is the greatest food ever invented. So for something, it just stayed in my brain. And I'm not kidding. That's literally how sort of that aha moment of, again, there's only a few things in the world that can really bring people together. It's, food is probably one of the biggest, sports is certainly up there, and love. And I think, the world needs a little more of all of those three right now. And
I'm throwing music in there.
Now, music, of course, too. Of course. No, you're
right.
Absolutely. Well, there was my sports brain going, because I put sports ahead of music, but you're probably right.
Yes.
Maybe sports may divide. Who knows? There's some pretty crazy soccer fans out there.
There are.
But you're right. I think we can all get behind the Beatles and have some fun. So.
Absolutely. And when all of those things are combined, it creates all of those core memories that you just spoke to. things you will never forget. And when your mom comes on Thursday and you do that walk, it'll take you right back. And that's kind of the whole reason you do what you do, I would imagine.
It is, yeah. And it's, I'm lucky to be able to be in the neighborhood that we are here at West Queen West, because it's just, you mentioned, we sort of just joked around all those things of music, sports, food, culture. But that's what it is, right? That's where we are. It is Toronto. It's, we are a city of neighborhoods. We have our challenges and pros and cons like everybody, but,
Yeah.
it's, I think if people just sort of, remember to have kindness and look out for each other to the best of their ability, you know what I mean? Like, say hi to somebody, make somebody's day. How are you? Like, that's what the neighborhood's about. I'm a small town guy, and I say hi to everybody on the street.
Matt, tell us about some of the favorites of your customers at the Trinity Market, and do you have some signature products that I need to come and try out?
Yeah, no, I think you do. So this is an interesting one. So, as we talk about food, and I've been a chef for many years, here's an interesting space that we took over for many, many years. Trinity Market, where we are now, was part of dry cleaner and laundromat, which is a staple in the neighborhood. And I did my dry cleaning here too. Unfortunately, that business didn't survive through COVID with a couple challenges. And it was really, really devastating for the neighborhood. And when we saw this, we really, at first, me and my partners didn't really know what to do. Originally, this was going to be called Trinity Pizza. We were going to do a New York City takeout pizza joint. And it would have worked. It would have been great. And I said to myself and my business partners, so why don't we focus on, so our spot here is 510 square feet, 510 square feet. So a little hole in the wall. We've done a beautiful job of design. And what we've done is we've created sort of our area's neighborhood best things that we love. And so what we do is actually, it's called Trinity Market for a reason, because, as I do a couple things that we do in-house, of course, but this is really not about my story per se. I truthfully say this is always about our friends that we bring in for food. So, we bring in Bad Attitude Bakery, which is just around the corner, a vegan bakery. We have an amazing pizza that myself and the team at Noche, who have been there for 18 years, that are kitty corner to us, Elena and Aaron, they make our pizza. So every morning and night, they bring our pizza over to us, almost like the old country in Italy, where like the food's being walked across. When we sell out, we sell out. It's a beautiful pizza, and I loved it. So please, we have two. There's always we do a square pizza. It's almost like a Detroit style, and it's a focaccia base. So it's focaccia, Detroit, really topping heavy. We do a beautiful pepperoni, and then we do a veggie pizza that's always finished with rosewood hot honey, which is a Niagara winery, with a little basil pesto. We have empanadas from Gaucho Empanadas, which is around, not too far up on Geary Avenue as well. Cheeses from Cheese Boutique. We have our spices coming from our spice friends, kitty corner to us here. Our nuts, we have a beautiful charcuterie board program that we always change. And the nuts are actually from right beside us through our door that we share with our friend Justin and the team at the Roasted Nut. They roast the nuts right on site. It's great. Everybody has their little part and parcel. We're super tight with them. We're also super tight with our other neighbors, which is the Young family that did an amazing job with the renovation and now owning the laundromat, the wash and fold here behind us. It's great. So we're sort of in that community. It's one thing because, we are a snack bar. We're a cafe by day. At nighttime, it turns into a full wine bar.
Wow.
So we've been really blessed. Great patio out front facing the park. As Rob mentioned, him being Ukrainian, you've got the Ukrainian church here. The community's been, I've been in many communities before. It's been amazing to see everybody come down and support. We are doing something a little different and fun, and I know when somebody does something well. I'm very proud of what we've done. Our team's amazing, but it's a really lovely, different piece to sort of this West Queen West neighborhood. One thing I do want to mention is we've done an amazing job. We have a bottle shop. So I don't know. Do you know what a bottle shop is?
I don't.
Nope.
Yeah. So now, one thing one positive that did come out of COVID is that the LCBO, the AGCO, allowed us as restaurateurs to be able to sell alcohol. And I mean alcohol, whether it be wine or spirits or beers and craft, beers, whatever it might be. So myself, being a big wine person, one of our business partners is a sommelier. We all decided that we wanted to own a bottle shop. So part of our liquor license being we can sell products like an LCBO does. So other than that, the kitchen, other than an LCBO, all of our stuff is private import. And, we work with some of the best importers in Canada. And we also go direct to wineries, both Prince Edward County and down the road in Niagara. keeping local where possible. So we usually have 30 wines. Everything's on the shelf. Everything's by the glass. You can try everything. So we go after like a real European, very chill, music's great, got a little jazz, got a little Motown going. You know, you can sit with a little cheese plate or an empanada, take it to the park. You know, one thing I'll say, and hopefully our local politicians are listening, and I know, Rob will always have a chat with them, and he did mention, I'm very happy to say, as of in December, I will be joining the board as well here, part of West Queen West, which I'm very, very honored to be part of. But I want to mention that in the fact that us being so close to the park and the ability that people can now legally and safely drink alcohol, of course, within reason and moderate consumption. But in the park here, it's about time. For a little small business like us, it made all the difference. It made such an economic development for people to be able to come buy a 4-pack, a 6-pack, 1 can of a beer, non-alcoholic stuff. We have a great selection of non-alcoholic products, and people can go enjoy and sit and have a picnic in the park. We did it for hundreds and hundreds of people this summer.
That's awesome. I have to say, I'm here looking at everything. Even just the presentation of everything is incredible. You guys did amazing.
Thank you. Well, we eat with our eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We eat with our eyes, right? The phone eats first and our eyes eat first, right? So we got to take pictures.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, yes. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. It's been such a pleasure meeting you, and I will definitely be making my way to Trinity Market, but not on Thursday because you have to be with your mom. Okay? But I'll come in. Don't.
I look forward to it. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Please, before you go, tell us once again your website and where you're located.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're right at the corner of Queen and Bellwoods Avenue at 768A. We're connected right to the Roasted Nut, our amazing friends. We have a beautiful west-facing patio in the sun. And you can get us at trinitymarket.ca or on Instagram. And as Rob mentioned, TikTok for the kids. Trinity Market TO. That's Trinity Market TO.
That's incredible. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was such a pleasure. Thank you, Matt.
My pleasure. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you.
Well, now you're back with me.
That's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh, that's good. You got good.
Awesome. Yeah, Matt done some things with West Queen West prior about some other man who has energy, and it's again when I started to walk and come to West Queen West, individuals like Matt are rare, but there are some here, and you just witnessed. Like you can't leave speaking to him without being excited about the whole thing. It's just that positive energy, that positive feel you get. And that's why I do a happy dance every morning, because I get to go to work. I get to hang out with people like Chef Matt, and the whole thing. Yeah. And you guys now. So like this is, life is good. That's why I have a delicious
There you go. I need to get me one of them.
Yeah, it is. See, even that's it's fantastic. And again, well, that's the difficulty. See, when I first started working, we have amazing people like this. I'm not kidding. I gained 120 pounds because even if you only eat one little bit in every business, or I would stop for breakfast at they had the Bellwood, diner. Oh, because you've done stuff for them. It's that generation would give you 800 pounds of bacon, and on the fries would be so much gravy. Like it was, So soon I had to start being smarter. So it's incredible. And you're going to see as we walk and we shop, it's going to be difficult just to stop. Like I go, oh my God, look what's next door. Look what's here. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Like we haven't even talked about anthropology and how beautiful that looks inside.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll definitely be making a stop there.
Yeah, because that's just a gorgeous place inside. And for those who might not be aware, but Doctor Who, he travels in a TARDIS, or she travels in a TARDIS. On the outside, it's really small, but on the inside, it's gigantic. And that's the magic of a lot of spots in West Queen West. I bring you to Doc's Letter. Outside, it's 12 feet wide. You're thinking this is nothing. You go inside, 3 levels. There's a museum on the top. Like it's unbelievable. You get lost in there. Like those are the magic things where you have to be here and actually go through it and you'll be going, wow. Like that's what really happens.
Rob, thank you so much. We made it through this pilot episode. I think we're a really good team. We are high-fiving on that one for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining me and for Matt. I kind of knew what to expect, but I am just, it was more than I could have imagined. And I can feel that passion. And I think our viewers and our listeners will too. It's just incredible. We want to thank also the West Queen West BIA. And again, please subscribe and download to our amazing Heartbeat in the City podcast at Spotify, iTunes, and on the newly launched West Queen West YouTube channel. Now, Rob, what are we doing on our next podcast? Do you know?
We are going to travel West Queen West. And I want to make sure I'm there with you because we can describe things. So we're going to be easy.
But we're going to be doing something that's, I think, our favorite. We're going to be doing some holiday shopping.
Well,
there you go. Look at you.
Again, part of the things that I really want to highlight to you when you're there is that there's a magic of West Queen West, and Doctor Who might not be familiar to a whole bunch of people out there, but Doctor Who, at the moment, she travels in a TARDIS, and it's like an old police box. So on the outside, it's really small, but on the inside, it's gigantic and huge and magical. That's kind of what happens everywhere you go in West Queen West. I use Doc Leather as an example. Outside, 12 feet wide, you think, what is this place? You go in, 3 floors, museums. You can get lost, spend a whole day. But that's the magic of almost every member of West Queen West. You see, it's the narrowness, the closeness, but that's where you get to speak to the individuals who are there. You are never going to want to leave when you're here. Like, so I'm just saying, when you come, bring extra clothing, bring extra stuff, tell your friends you've been for a while, because you're going to just not want to leave.
I'm excited to bring the family too, because what an experience. And for me, for Christmas shopping or any kind of shopping, you always want to get something unique for those special people in your life. And everything you're saying about West Queen West, it's just its uniqueness. And it's made and built and created and cooked with love. And I think that's something that everyone wants to be a part of. So you can't lose.
And now it's descended. So the spice fitter has all the spices and oils and you get to taste them while you're there. And when you walk in, the aroma is just overwhelmingly amazing. Then you go to Type Book, which is right there. And it's everything. And that Agnes who I spoke of earlier, she doesn't not as often anymore, but she does book readings for the children in the basement. And you're there. And then you go to the paper place. And when I say paper, I rarely have said this, magical paper. There's like paper that is magic. Like it's incredible. So even talk about uniqueness. You will get gifts from those 2 places, even though there's so many other amazing ones that no one else will ever be able to get someone else because they're not.
That's great. I'm so looking forward to doing that with you. Again, I think I reminded everyone where we can download this podcast: Spotify, iTunes, the West Queen West YouTube channel, and also at westqueenwest.ca. But Rob, before we go, tell us why it's always a great day in West Queen West.
It's always an amazing day in West Queen West because we're the art and design district, the creative heart of Toronto. And every day is a day to celebrate art and culture. Like that's, these people here, I'm here, you walk, there's a uniqueness. Not one day is ever the same. Not one person. They all have this energy. You just saw from Matt. You probably heard people in the background. Like when you walk by the park and each person is welcome. And that's just like I've learned, as Matt says, he says hi to everyone. I've learned to sometimes stop and just talk to people, grab a coffee, sit, and you'll hear stories about sometimes just because we passed Remembrance Day, the war and what they did, or how they won the Order of Canada, or Agnes Hannah, all the teachers. Everybody has such incredible, amazing stories. It's almost impossible not to be touched and amazed by it. Yes, the city of Toronto is a city of neighborhoods, and they're all amazing. But again, and you should visit, but if you can't, you'll get them all here in West Queen West. That's why you want to come. That's why I do a happy dance every morning. And now an extra happy dance.
There you go. So we'll be happy dancing together. I'll have to keep up with you, though. I don't know if I can. Well, thank you so much, Rob. It was such a pleasure to talk with you. And I'll call you later. We'll go shopping. All right?
Yes, awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You too.
Have a good one. West Queen West. Woohoo! Woo!
Bye.